how's it going? My name is Micaela and this week has been rough. This week I came down with something that I think was probably food poisoning, and it was, you know how, if you know. But I managed to survive and things are looking a little bit better now, so I want to give a shout out to some of the things that have saved my life. Tropicana Essentials. These weird multivitamin and energy jelly drinks that I'm not even sure what the brand name is. Is it in? The painkiller equivalent that helped me forget I had a high fever and chills and a headache. And finally, Nitsusama Shito. I can't recommend these enough. These are so good for when you have a headache. I will show you how to use them right now. They're like these adhesive cooling sheets. They're so good. And like, my eyes get tired even when I'm on the computer for too long or doing too much editing work. And this stuff, these are just like miracle workers because they just like cool everything down. When I actually like legit have a fever, I actually put one on my forehead and one on the back of my neck to like cool my body down, and it feels so nice. I love these so much. But you know, being sick this week was another interesting cross-cultural examination, and I'll tell you why. As you know, I have a boyfriend named Tatsu who takes care of me when I'm sick, because he's wonderful. We got into an argument where he was like, why don't you ever go to the hospital? Why don't you ever go to the hospital as soon as you feel bad? And I was like, why do Japanese people always have to go to the hospital the second they feel bad? And it was like this one thing where like we were arguing back and forth. You see, Japanese people have a tendency to go to the hospital for everything. Like literally everything. The second they think that they're getting sick, they're like, oh, you should go to the hospital. If you think you're sick, you better go to the hospital. My boyfriend, Tatsu, he would say, he's like, why aren't you going to the hospital? Like, you won't get better if you don't go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital. And I was like, just let me sleep. Just let me sleep this off. Bleh. And I'm pretty sure like in North America, we don't go to the doctor for the common cold. And I think especially in America because healthcare costs money, but in Canada where healthcare is provided, the thing is everyone's at the clinic anyway. Everyone goes to the clinic, everyone goes to the hospital, everyone's an emergency, even if it's not an emergency, because they can. To prevent, you know, a bunch of people waiting at the hospital, waiting at the clinic, to be seen when they don't really need to be seen, when they just should be at home resting. I grew up under the general rule that it's like a common cold will generally fix itself in 3 days if you rest and take care of yourself. And if it doesn't, then you can go to the doctor. If it's not the common cold, you can go to the doctor. I generally wait until the 3rd day of being sick. And if I'm not on my way out, then yeah, I need to go to the doctor and figure out what's wrong. But if I'm feeling better, usually it's just one more day and I'm good. So luckily it was something that kind of passed through my whole system in 2 days. And nobody died and la-di-da, everything's good. I think another reason why I have a general aversion to going to the doctor in Japan is just because it can be really complicated depending on what your problem is. If you need medicine to cure a common sickness, you go to a naika, which is a internal medicine doctor, and they will specialize in, you know, stuff including colds, bacterial, viral infections, and so on. But if you're like me and you're asthmatic, then you also have to go to a kokyū kika in order to get the proper medication that you need. Other common clinics include hifuka, which is for, you know, rashes or any sort of skin problems you might have. If you're coming from overseas and you have any sort of depressive disorder and you need to get more medication, then you need to go to a seishinka. And if you're like me and you're a lady with a bunch of lady bits and sometimes those lady bits need routine checkups and maintenance, then you need to go to a fujinka, which is a gynecologist. Basically, if you're someone who has a lot of different needs, you end up seeing a lot of different doctors instead of seeing the same doctor over the years, which is kind of, I don't know, frustrating because you end up seeing a bunch of different doctors for different ailments and they're all kind of, you know, choosing medications and trying to deal with your health problems without really like knowing each other. And I feel like that can be kind of dangerous, maybe, I don't know. Is this distracting? Because this, it feels so good. So yeah, it all seems like a bit of a hassle right now, but the truth is that if you're planning on living in Japan for a long time, it's probably a good idea to get all those connections sorted out sooner or later. I think when you're young, you can kind of afford to be lazy because you're still healthy and you have fairly minor health issues, but as you get older, those health issues are going to be bigger and you're going to need to know who to call when something goes bad. And it's always better to be safe than sorry. And I would definitely not recommend trying to cure something by yourself if it persists for more than 2 or 3 days, because then it could be very, very dangerous. If you are feeling under the weather but you're not really ready to go see a doctor about it, you can try over-the-counter medication by going to a major drugstore. Most drugstores will have one pharmacist on hand during business hours, and usually they go home at like 6 p.m. or like 5 p.m. so you have to get there like during the day. But if you can talk to them and kind of explain what your symptoms are, they'll help you find the right over-the-counter medication to help deal with whatever you're experiencing, and that's also fairly cheap. And if that can help you get through whatever it is that's bothering you, then that is great. It probably saves you a little bit of time and money as well. I definitely recommend Bufferin if you have a headache or fever, because this thing, like, this fixed me so fast. I'm gonna include a ton of links in the description with proper URLs so they are not broken. That will hopefully help point you in the right direction of a proper clinic that can help you, or, you know, finding the right over-the-counter medicine that you need from a pharmacist or a pharmacy here in Japan. Yay, let's be Genki together. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye!